bespoke radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game.
Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Yeah. Fade to Black. Bespoke radio for the masses. How you doing? It's Monday, October 10th. 284 days into the new year. Just 82 days left. We are live from a bunker somewhere in downtown Burbank, California, and I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black. I love all you guys. Yeah. These are pretty good. It's a good run of dancing gifts today. Yeah, we had a hell of a weekend, too. You guys, something special for the show. Oh, no. Yeah. We partied all weekend. For KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the Planet, I am your oh-so-humble host, Jimmy Church. What's cracking, everybody? Yes. Today is my birthday. Thank you, everybody. I really do. I appreciate it. It's totally humbling. I get it. Thank you. All right? We can move on from that now. We had some friends over this weekend, too, as well. Jason Martell and Taylor were here. Dan Zukowski was here, and an old friend of mine from Panama was here, Javier Cedeno, and we lit it up, man. We lit that candle, man. That candle got burnt, and we had a great time. So there you go. We had a good day to recover yesterday, and I got up bright and early. Rita dragged me out of bed and made me harvest pomegranates yesterday. And so that's what I did. And, I shucked pomegranates. That's what I did yesterday. Man, we got a great harvest. Little tree, it's only like 10 feet. It's a bush. And that has just cranked these pomegranates out now in the last couple of years. Just absolutely amazing. So that was our weekend. And here we are. Now, it feels kind of weird that, today's my birthday, but we celebrated it on Saturday. So I guess it's still going on with all of you. And thank you. These gifts are amazing. How do you find this many animated Egyptian birthday gifts? Where do these? You guys are amazing, man. Just absolutely amazing. These are really, really cool. Thank you. All right. Tonight is our first night of our Amazing Egypt week. And tonight we have a very special guest with us. Yousef Hakim Awyan is here live from Cairo, Egypt. No joke. And it is indeed an honor. Yousef and his father Hakim are instrumental in carrying on the missing history and the traditions of Upper and Lower Egypt and everything that has been going on there for the last 10,000 years. Okay, and tonight Yousef is here, and I never got to meet his father. He passed away, but a couple of years ago. Never met his father, but he is the apple does not fall far from the tree at all. And I have been a big fan of Yousef for a long, long time. And so tonight, he is here live from Cairo, Egypt. Tomorrow night, Stephen Mailer is here, right? And then Wednesday, William Henry. So we have 3 full nights of Egypt this week. All right, Thursday night's going to be another Fader night with John Rappaport and his No More Fake Newsroom. And I can't think of a better way if I'm going to have a birthday week than to do it on the subject of Egypt. And I guarantee you we will squeeze in some Gobekli Tepe. All right, there's the first one. I should be drinking tonight, shouldn't I? Where are you guys getting these Egypt gifts? These are these are amazing. You guys are the best. All right, let's get this show cracking. And follow us on Twitter at JChurchRadio. That's what you want to do. Very simple. Facebook, YouTube, everything is over on our website. You can go and follow, like, and subscribe. You can email throughout the show tonight, Jimmy at JimmyChurchRadio.com. Of course, the sandbox is hashtag F2B, and that's our manipulation of Twitter. It's our own little Twitter verse. And yes, we did do tiramisu. Did you guys see that? Oh, man. That tiramisu was absolutely amazing. That was my birthday cake, a big, long tiramisu from Bindi, imported from Italy. It was sick. Sick. All right, let's get this show cracking. All right. Oh, I want to tell a story. So, Saturday... Yes, it was Saturday. Saturday, I'm out driving around getting ready for our little birthday bash. And just picking up some odds and ends bread. And I think I was actually getting that tiramisu I was just speaking about. And my phone rings, and it's Ronnie from Life Change Tea. He goes, dude. I said, what's up, Ronnie? I got to tell you what just happened. So I'm going to tell you the story, the quick version of what Ronnie said. He got his daughter a new car, and he took the car to go get wrapped with Life Change Tea and getthetea.com. And I think it's yellow and green, the Life Change Tea colors. And he picks up the car, and 10 minutes later, he just picked up the car from the dealer, and he is pulling into Costco, parks the car. Guy comes running up to him that works at Costco and says, hey, are you the Life Change Tea guy? Getthetea.com. And he goes, what? Are you Ronnie? Ronnie goes, yeah. He goes, dude, I'm a Fadernaut, man. Jimmy Church Radio. Right? And Ronnie said, man, in all my years of radio and advertising and everything that I've never had that happen. And he goes, dude, it was incredible. I said, dude, did you get a picture? And he goes, no. And so he turned around, and hopefully he got a picture, and we'll get that in here. But that was one of the coolest things ever. Ronnie was ecstatic. I love you, Fadernauts, man. And if you do see that car running around, whether it's Ronnie or his daughter, you got to go up there and just go, dude, fade to black. All right. Life Change Tea. Change your life. Everybody here is on the program. Go to getthetea.com. That's all you got to do. Mention Jimmy when you order. It's simple. Either over the phone or online. You get yourself free shipping. You're a Fadernaut. That's what happens. Ronnie loves you. All right? Change your life. And he's got that new chocolate colostrum. Okay? There you go. All right. Studio Dome Fadernaut special. All weekend we were running the Studio Domes over at Casa de Church. And you want to do the same thing. It was kind of funny. Saturday night when we're firing up the system, right? It was, what are we going to listen to? I go, dudes, Van Halen, man. It's my birthday. Jason Martell goes, man, Van Halen. I go, dude, David Lee Roth, man. It's got to be the real stuff. And I want to thank Jason, too. He got me a really, really cool drone. He got me a Parrot Mambo for my birthday. Got a video camera on it. It's got a little claw that you can grab stuff with and a cannon on the top. It's got a cannon, a 6-shot cannon on the top. I haven't abused my dogs yet, but that is in our future. And thank you, Jason, for that. It rocks. All right, let's get the show cracking. October 10th, birthdays. Are you ready? David Lee Roth, today, is 61. Dale Earnhardt Jr., the man, is 42 today. Rita, are you listening? Peter Coyote, today, is 75. And we love our Peter Coyote, by the way. Tanya Tucker, today, is 57. She's still singing. She's out there doing her thing. She lives out in Malibu, and she's still out doing it, man. Still looks good. Great voice. Tanya Tucker, today, is 57. And Mr. Big frontman, the dude, Eric Martin, is 56. And you have to ask yourself, where did the years go, man, when David Lee Roth is 61 and Eric Martin is 56? Our dead guy's birthday today. Are you ready? Moment of silence. Christopher Bleepin Penn. Christopher Penn. 1965 to 2006. Born on October 10th. Died at the age of 40. Yeah, one of my favorite actors. Dude was great. He really was. Brother of Sean, as we know, and known for his roles in, remember The Wildlife? Tom Cruise, right? Rumblefish, of course, Reservoir Dogs. The Funeral, he was great, by the way. Footloose, Rush Hour, Corky Romano, remember that? Played the gangsta. True Romance, one of his best roles. Shortcuts, he was amazing. The Boys Club, and All the Right Moves, amongst others. Happy birthday, Christopher Penn. He was found dead in his condominium here in Santa Monica, California, back in January of 2006. And it freaked everybody out. It really, really did. There was all kinds of rumors going around, but the autopsy revealed he just had heart disease. That was it. It was his time. Christopher Penn died at the age of 40. Happy birthday. All right, that is all. On this day in history, 1987, and it was a big one. This is a big day in history, in rock and roll history. All right, let's see who pops this video first. I want to see the GIF of this. 1987, White Snake's Here I Go Again tops the Billboard Pop Singles chart, goes to number 1, and they release the video on this day. Yeah, today, you know, what most people remember about that song is the video. That's what they remember. They don't remember Rudy Sarzo. They don't remember that. They don't remember David Coverdale, Tommy Aldridge. No, they don't remember that stuff. They remember Tawny Katane in that white negligee rolling around on the hoods of a pair of Jaguars. Remember that? Parked next to each other. And it's there it is. Jordan, you are the man. You are the absolute man. That's it. That's going to get a tweet and a quote right there. That was fast. Jordan, you are the man. That simple. And we'll hashtag this too as well, so you can see how badass Jordan is, man. He was quick on the trigger. Quick, Tawny Katane. All right, I'm in a great mood, everybody. Can you tell? We had a really great weekend. Rita and I absolutely had a blast and hung out, and it was just a wonderful weekend. And for Rita and I, because we go back to back, it's her birthday than mine. And this is a really cool period for all of us in our family because later on this month, it's her father. So, I mean, it's just like bam, 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 just like that. All right, there you go. Who is there? Oh, Tammy. Isn't that funny? That's what everybody remembers. They don't remember the song. They remember Tawny Katane. All right. Fader fact. In 2015, Apple Inc. was worth more than Switzerland, Sweden, or Nigeria. That's a fader fact. All right. I'm going to move on. I'm in a great mood, but we have stuff to talk about. All right, let's get serious. Today, the Wall Street Journal ran this headline, and I'm quoting here. This was the headline, Wall Street Journal. WikiLeaks reveals UFO messages in Clinton campaign emails. There's the headline, right? Freaked out the world. It did. Well, there you go. Well, not really. Let me explain. The article was written by one Byron Tao, and it was posted earlier today. Actually, it was at 11 p.m. Pacific time, 2 o'clock Eastern. And it started out, this is what the article said underneath that headline. The former lead singer of the band Blink-182 was in a recent contact with Hillary Clinton's campaign chairman, John Podesta, about UFOs. Newly disclosed emails show Tom DeLonge, who was the guitarist for the power punk trio best known for songs like Damn It and What's My Age Again, love Damn It, emailed Mr. Podesta at least twice. He wrote in cryptic terms about their well-documented mutual interest in more government disclosure about the phenomenon of unidentified flying objects of potential extraterrestrial origin. The emails, released by the website WikiLeaks this month, also reveal that Mr. Podesta participated in a documentary that Mr. DeLonge is producing. Now, that was the opening salvo, top part, couple of paragraphs. And after reading the article, I read the emails from DeLonge to Podesta. I did. And in one of them, there was 3 images that were still available for download. They were attached to the email. And yes, I downloaded them. I wanted to see what they were. But it was really none of my business. There were 2 emails referenced in the Wall Street Journal piece. And yes, indeed, they are both still on WikiLeaks. They're not going anywhere, folks. To be fair, I reached out to Tom immediately after I read his emails. And I wanted a comment from him. And I'm sure that right now, he is being bombed all day today from every direction. I did speak with him last week about another matter, and we were on the books for another conversation this week. And then today, this happened. So when we talk, and we will, whether it's after the show tonight or tomorrow, I'll relay anything that he wants out there to all of you. But I need to say some things. First, why would the Wall Street Journal run with this story? Is it a story? Is this news? Is it Wall Street Journal worthy news? Well, I mean, to all of us, for sure, it's an exciting headline. And certainly as mainstream as it gets, it's the Wall Street Journal. And the headline does read, WikiLeaks reveals UFO messages in Clinton campaign emails. That is the headline. But the bummer is, for everyone, not just in our little circle, but everyone, is that this has nothing to do with the Hillary campaign. That's misleading strike number 1. These are not, quote, UFO messages, whatever that's supposed to mean. And I'm not suggesting messages from UFOs, please. That's not what I'm talking about. But they are not between staffers and Clinton, UFO messages, or from Clinton to someone else. Very, very misleading from the Wall Street Journal. A publication, to me, that usually has the highest standards and thinks twice or 3 times before publishing something. That's what they do. It's the Wall Street Journal. What are they doing in ufology? And everybody today was, or seemed to me, happy about this. Look, man, we got there, man. We got there. We're one step closer. It's Wall Street Journal, man. You know, but I wasn't happy at all. First, these are private things between DeLong and Podesta. It has nothing to do with the campaign, which is what the Wall Street Journal suggested in their headline. Campaign emails about UFOs, right? Second, DeLong reveals that he is working with an Air Force Major General in these emails. And it's published and out there, so I could say who that general is now, but I won't. I don't want to. It's not cool. I won't say his name. It's not right. It's out there. Everyone else is going to have a field day with this, but I'm not going to be one of them. I ain't going there. I'm not, out of respect to Tom and this general and the way that they handled this. Third, the Wall Street Journal reveals that Podesta is in Tom's new documentary. And again, by doing this, it's totally uncool. It's nobody's business, man. This is just a documentary. This is, you know, and WSJ should have had some restraint here. But fourth, the WikiLeaks post has the original emails with the attachment of those 3 images sent by DeLong, and those are available for download. The images don't reveal anything. They are of DeLong's marketing materials for his project from a pitch meeting with a movie studio. That's it. No big deal, right? But it's personal stuff. It's a personal thing. This has nothing to do with the campaign or Benghazi. It has nothing to do with any of that stuff. It's between DeLong and Podesta. Fifth, Spielberg is mentioned. Spielberg. And this is just private stuff that is out there. And that hurts. And for DeLong, seriously, man, this sucks. All of it. It's not cool. Right now, there's no telling what the general thinks about this. But I'm sure he ain't happy. Can't be. And I'm sure that general today is hearing it from all sides now. And that ain't right. This is just private stuff. It's, you know, it's just uncool. Spielberg, he can't be happy. He ain't happy. Podesta, who's in the middle of a campaign right now, he certainly ain't happy. It's just uncool, the whole thing. Let me hit this coffee. Will this hurt the Clinton campaign? I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. It might, maybe not. Doesn't matter. Don't care about Hillary. Don't care about Trump. I don't. And I'm sure that's what the Wall Street Journal wanted. You know, they're taking a crack at Hillary. Let's throw in UFOs. We'll add campaign email, UFOs, and let's just let's do our job. I don't get it. And I'm sure that they wanted to upset the campaign. Fine, fair enough. If you want to step down to that level, Wall Street Journal, and we thought you were above that. And I'm sure that the clicks that this story has generated is paying dividends. But are the clicks really that important for the Wall Street Journal? I would have never thought that ever before today. What I don't want is for DeLong to get upset. I don't want DeLong to say, screw it, man. This just ain't worth it, man. I'm done. That's what I don't want here. Now, I haven't spoken to Tom. I have not. He knows that I've reached out to him and he knows what it's about. And when the smoke clears a little bit, we can discuss this. But I just don't want him to be upset. And he's been trying to handle this the right way from the beginning. He's gone to great lengths to protect his sources. They, at least some of them, are now out in the open, and this can't be good. I know most, if not every single one of you listening to me right now thinks WikiLeaks is a good thing, that they can do no wrong. And I've said myself many times that it's possible that the UFO disclosure could happen through WikiLeaks. It could happen through that dump. And I get that. There are those out there that think no matter what they leak and post, it's always a good thing. And that is until WikiLeaks posts something of theirs, of yours. Think about it. This is private email. So for now, we have to wait for the response from DeLong, Podesta, Spielberg, and that general. And let's all hope that it's a positive one. But I have a feeling that things just took a giant step backwards. Way to go, Wall Street Journal and WikiLeaks. Right now, the both of you suck. The media has taken things way too far this year. Nothing is objective. It seems to me that if you look at the biggest barometers out there, and that's CNN, Fox, BBC, RT, IB Times, everything is so skewed that nothing is even close to being honest. On either side, nothing. And I mean nothing is worth reading, at least on the campaign. Nothing at all. Period. It's all garbage. And I don't support or care about either Hillary or Trump. As an adult, I can think of only one word to describe them both, and I can't use that on the air. I want to, but I can't. And if you have any questions about the media bias, RT ran this headline today. It said, their headline, U.S. newspapers overwhelmingly favor Clinton, none back Trump. That's their headline, and you can't make this stuff up. From the new, and they went on to say this, from the New York Times to several traditionally Republican outlets who broke the tradition to support a Democrat, such as the Cincinnati Enquirer, the Dallas Morning News, and the Arizona Republic. Clinton was also endorsed by the San Diego Union Tribune, the first time the paper has endorsed a Democrat since its founding in 1868. Who cares? The Huffington Post has famously included a disclaimer in every story mentioning Trump, telling their readers he is, and I'm quoting here, serial liar, rampant xenophobe, racist, misogynist, birther, and bully who has repeatedly pledged to ban all Muslims, 1.6 billion members of an entire religion, from entering the U.S., end quote. And that's where we are with this. The media bias on both sides is out of control. And how much so? The Wall Street Journal today got in the mix and totally screwed all of us in ufology pushing for disclosure. And you know who else got screwed today? Tom DeLong. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Yousef Awyan is here live from Cairo, Egypt. It is a full Egypt week. Yeah, I'm upset about WikiLeaks, Wall Street Journal. It's all crap now, man. We've just gone to crap. I'll be right back.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio.
What's up, revolutionaries? It's me, Jimmy Church. Do you have an IRS or state tax issue? Well, I did, and I called national tax experts. My problems were fixed, done, fini, and man, I gotta tell you, it was a relief. National Tax Experts are a recognized tax office that services clients in all 50 states. It doesn't matter where you live. Give them a call. I'm telling you, they take the time to understand each and every client's individual financial status as well as their financial goals. And that's exactly what you need, my brother, when you're taking on the evil three-letter. So, seriously, give them a call today at 1-877-909-5444. Again, 1-877-909-5444. Or go check out their website, www.nattaxexperts.com. That's NATTAXEXPERTS.com. Tell them Jimmy sent you.
Hi, folks. In a world of GMO, genetically modified organisms, that is, chemicals, processed foods, and a healthcare system that's unraveling like a cheap suit, it's time to prepare. God created herbs, and herbs help man. Our body can heal itself, just sometimes we need assistance. You need some help? GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Our mild detox is quite powerful with its unique blend of 8 different herbs. And if you're looking for more, our non-GMO supplements will help you with different needs you might have. Health should be a top priority. Take care of your health naturally. Log on to GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Give your body a treat. Let the herbs do their thing naturally. Read all the testimonies on the website, GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Sickness and viruses are like intruders, and herbs are like warriors. Let the tea work for you. That's GetTheTea.com.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, The Planet.
Hi, this is Chase Kletzky with Fate Magazine Radio, and you're listening to Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA digital broadcast station, where the Fade or Nots rock.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
All right, welcome back. This is it, our amazing Egypt week. Been looking forward to this for a long time. We do this every year. And tonight, very special guest, Yousef Hakim Awyan is with us, live from Cairo, Egypt. Tomorrow night, it's Stephen Mailer once again. And Wednesday night, William Henry is going to join us. Thursday night's another Fader night with John Rappaport and his No More Fake Newsroom. Let's do this. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. That's what you want to do. Email is Jimmy at JimmyChurchRadio.com. Any questions for myself or Yousef during the show tonight? Hashtag F2BQ. Yousef Awyan was born, raised, and still resides at his family's home in the Nazlet El Saman, just a few meters from the Sphinx entrance in Giza. Yousef grew up listening avidly to his father, Hakim, and listened to him talk about the secrets and mysteries of ancient Egypt, sharing his passion, and he honors his father's memory by continuing to share his wealth of knowledge and wisdom with us all. Yousef and his wife, Patricia, created the Kemet School of Ancient Mysticism as an open forum to share the teachings of Hakim and to continue on with the exploration and research of the ancient mysteries. They also host several tours each year as a venue to share all of this knowledge. Yousef reads and interprets the hieroglyphs, symbols, the images found all over Egypt from a unique perspective as taught to him by his father, as well as through his own research and continued study. And I would like to welcome to the show, for the first time, Yousef Hakim Awyan. Yousef, all the way from Cairo. How are you?
Hello, Jimmy.
I'm
doing good.
Yeah, life is wonderful, and first off, we have to thank technology that is bringing us together here with you and our audience. So I want to thank you with that. Now, everybody, we're dealing with Cairo, the Middle East, and technology. But if we lose it tonight, we'll get it hooked back up. But we just want to have a great conversation. And welcome to the show, Yousef. Are you ready to go?
I am ready.
Now,
I'm happy to be on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much. And it's an honor. And I want to start here. Your father was a truly amazing man. And for all of us that follow Egypt, Cairo, ancient history, and lost history, Hakim has been somebody that we've listened to and studied and admired for years. But I have to ask you, what was it like growing up around him, and how early of an age was it that you figured out this is what you were going to do?
Started when I was 7 or 8.
Right.
And my father was his passion. He would, like, every time he goes to the site, which almost daily, he would return back, and we sit around him, and he was always loving to share information and talk about his passion and the mysteries. Maybe lots of it, when I was in the age 7, I didn't fully understood, but the more I did my own also visits to the sites, I started to recognize what he was talking about and things like that. So it really started. It's all my.
You sound great, by the way. I don't want you to think that there's issues. You actually sound you sound like you're here in Los Angeles. It's pretty.
I'm happy for that.
Your father had these eyes that had so much wisdom in them, and he had a great smile and a personality. I'm going to ask you this directly: was he as cool as we think he is? Was he really that cool?
I think more than you can imagine. He was not just like far away from being in his field as a researcher and archaeologist and chematologist, but he was a very unique father as well, to connect with his children in a way, and like friendship all the time, not like a father and son only or a father and daughter only, but also human to human, to let us know that he's aware of our emotions and thoughts. So very connected to him, like even telepathically. We could have a conversation with you.
Yes,
Truly.
yes. Yeah, I can only imagine. What do you think, before we jump into Egypt?
He was able to read minds.
I know. You could tell. You could tell. His eyes, man, his eyes. You could absolutely tell he knew what was going on. And what do you think, Yousef, was the one thing, because there was so many, but what was the one thing that he wanted all of the world to understand about Egypt? What was that one thing that he constantly wanted to get across back to us?
Through the wisdom in Egypt, he wanted to pass to the world awareness and awakening, to realize like mankind's capability of living a healthier life.
Why do you think we lost that vision? Because he's absolutely right, and you are right. But somewhere along the way, we went down the wrong road. Why do you think we lost sight of the wisdom from the ancient and the mystery schools and what was happening 5,000, 6,000 years ago in Egypt? Where did we lose it? We lost it, and we forgot about it.
Yes. I believe we lost it because we are not tuned in with nature as much as the ancient used to be. So going far away from nature will make you lose your identification. You wouldn't know who you are, what's your purpose, how to tune in with the cycles, what to feel, what to believe. So
Yeah.
The more we live in the artificial world, the more we lose our identity.
Do you think that the last dynastic periods, and I'm talking about the Greek era and ending with Cleopatra, do you think it was gone by then too as well? It had been forgotten and they lost their way?
Yeah. Throughout the history, some, if we can call it activation, some true knowledge became just a traditional symbolism. So that's what happens. From something that was really functioning and active to live with, to become more like a ceremony.
Right.
Just an image, not the truth of living it, but just a ceremonial tradition. Yeah.
And I've often, it's kind of scary for me, but I've always thought that may have been the truth. I didn't want to believe that, but right around at the end with Cleopatra, at that very end, it seemed like Cairo and Egypt, everybody forgot. They forgot how to read hieroglyphics. They forgot about they didn't know what the pyramids were there for. They didn't know, everything. Everybody got amnesia, really quick and forgot about all of those traditions that you and your father carry on.
It was more to transformed than forgotten. It took other shapes. And of course, the influence of the other civilizations like the Greeks and Romans and the Arab.
Yeah, it came in from each direction.
So the influence of...
Right.
Yes. And before that, of course, the Persians and others. So Egypt was not closed country. It was always open to the world, connecting with all directions. So that developed more things in some cases, and also it influenced some of the beliefs, and especially if we know that history is written by victorious, so we would know the influence, for example, of the Greek civilization or the Greek-Roman era on the understanding, because the receivers, which is the philosophers of the Greeks, are receiving,
right,
but on their own culture and mindset. So it will make a difference, because like when they hear about, for example, when they hear about the Beno bird, that it's a bird carrying the spirit of the sun, then they will compare it to their myth and the phoenix. So now when you want to study the Beno bird, you will find that you are studying the influence of the Greek civilization, and you're finding the stories of the phoenix more than the Benu. But if you want to return to the truth, then you gotta find, most of the time, the best case is the oldest text written in ancient Egyptian language about the subject you are studying. And that's not all, because the translation also has many dimensions to look at. But so you can still find lots of the truth. And we know that the Coptic language, they used the Greek letters, but the spoken ancient Egyptian language.
Right.
So the language itself, it took another form, but it survived.
And that's such a fascinating part of which is so misunderstood when it comes to Egypt, because of the Roman influence, the Greek influence, the Persian influence. And when people go to a museum and they're looking at stuff from the Middle Kingdom or the New Kingdom, they see that and they think Egypt, but all of that had so many different influences. With the way that things started at 3000 BC, it appears to the world that everything was upright and going, right? It was a fully functional society, and it certainly wasn't. That knowledge came from somewhere else, and the two kingdoms united. So let's back up there and tell us how history actually started.
Yeah. Well, the Neolithic age, which is about that timeline you were just mentioning, and the that era that's known today as the pre-dynastic era, most of historians didn't believe in it. Didn't want to connect the civilization of dynastic Egyptians to something that goes before, how it developed, because it seemed, as you were saying, too perfect and complete to just look for the source. But there was no way out of looking to the roots of that. And of course, some of the best workers on that level was Flinders Petrie. He was doing the studies here in the end of the 18th century, and they found the tools of pre-dynastic civilizations, and they found the locations. And we have famous spots before the formation of the two kingdoms in the north and the south. We have one of the oldest cities, Neolithic cities, which is called El Badari. And we have Naqada, the first and the second, and we have Jerza, and we have Marmada here in the central and lower Egypt. So we had these civilizations, and you know about me that I love to see about industrials and machining and art and all this kind of things. So lots of things were found, of course, in these cities. Some of it makes sense, like the flint tools, like the knives and like things.
Right.
And the other things required much more sophisticated technology, which is hard to believe that it existed in the pre-dynastic time. And I'm talking specifically about the vessels that was found in some of the pre-dynastic burials, and which Flinders Petrie researched for a long time and found out that it was being manufactured using what we know as the lost technology, especially the one that Christopher Dunn, the engineer, talks about all the time.
Right.
So this is one of the biggest mysteries in the pre-dynastic time. So the Stone Age and the modern Stone Age, which is the Neolithic Age, and then the Copper Age. This is the era for the pre-dynastic time, and the timelines are not accurate. Like nobody knows exactly when that was, but it's believed to be over 5,000 years BC. That's the era of the pre-dynastic El Badari civilization. And then the Archaic Age starts from Dynasty 1 until 1 and 2 and there's another one now that they discovered, and they call it Dynasty 0.
Right.
And so Dynasty 3 until 6, this is the Old Kingdom. So the era of prehistory has lots of things that we cannot understand. How did they develop that? For example, if we looked at the different types of stones that was used in that era in manufacturing these vessels, they have very tough materials like quartz, like obsidian, and porphyr, and granite, of course, diorite, and rock crystal, bercia. These materials are not located in one place. Some of them come from the eastern desert, some of them come from the western desert in the south. So it's very hard to believe that the man who just started is still in the hunting and gathering, hardly started to make agriculture, to be able to travel this distance and bring these types of stones. And the more mysterious is how it was manufactured, how it was polished, and how thin it was carved, that it would challenge us today to create it. Then you got the 40,000 of them were found stashed in a tunnel under the Step Pyramid. And to find it in the Step Pyramid, you would think it's from the Third Dynasty. No?
Right.
Yeah, but Egyptologists found that some of them has writings from the Archaic Age. And when we talk about writings, is like the basic thing to date and relate and identify things. When we find it, we translate the writings. But in many cases, and this is one of the most important ones, that you find extraordinary machining with writings on it that hardly they could scratch the surface.
You know, one of the things...
very crude writing.
Yeah, Yousef, one of the... I saw a curator at the Cairo Museum, right, talking about those 40,000 vases that were, found together. And she goes, well, well, we really don't know how they made them. They're beautiful, but we really haven't studied them. And I'm thinking, how can you be so empty-headed about this? Why don't you care about how they were made? Why don't you care? Why don't you invent? Because they are beautiful and, quite simply, impossible to make. Impossible. It's some of the best art and sculpture in the world. It's completely ancient, and they don't care. Why would they not care?
Yes. This is my question as well. When we talk about the lost technology, why nobody cares about researching this more and more? Because clearly this is the path to understand if this stuff was made. And I'm talking also the pyramids here, because the stones in the pyramid structure are reflecting the same kind of machining.
Yes.
They are reflecting a saw and a circular saw and a tubular drill machining, plus, of course, the massive megalithic size of the blocks and the different materials that's been collected from miles to the east and to the north and to the south. And the challenge, of course, of bringing these materials and lots of things. But we will talk about the vessels, which also we have conclusive evidence about how it was made, because some of them were unfinished, and you can still see the core of the tubular drill still attached.
Yes.
To the stone in the unfinished vessels, and we have the unfinished books in the Egyptian Museum also related to the Old Kingdom, and that's probably because of the location where it was found, and its lid is still attached to it. They used to make the lid from the same block of stone. And we can see clearly two circular saws were cutting the lid from the base of the box. And then something happened and it broke. And that's not all. There is also a guiding line that is not a color. That's something that looks like something that they altered the stone with before the cutting tool was taking its turn to finish the manufacturing. And this is basically the biggest question about how things were done and how the ancient Egyptians had this kind of technology. So the problem, or like usually the mistake that the researchers fall in, is when they depend more on the scenes on the wall to understand the process of machining.
Right.
Because we have the scenes of manufacturing vessels from the Old Kingdom, which they used a normal kind of drill, and it's made out of a branch with two weights on the side and a piece of flint in the end, attach it to the branch on a horizontal way. So some people say it's a flint. Some
do you
some
laugh?
people say it's copper.
Yeah. Do you laugh?
And
I mean, it's,
when you look at it, you see that it is functional.
Right.
So my opinion is that they did vessels this way, but not these fine-made ones. These fine-made ones were done by a tube drill.
Yeah, that's
and
a
there are no scenes found.
No.
To show any tool that will give the tube drill. So we don't underestimate this era, the Old Kingdom, but we think that there is more. There is another era.
Yousef, stay right there. We're going to take a commercial break right here, okay? And our guest tonight, Yousef Awyan, and I am your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black. Yousef is live from Cairo, Egypt, and I'm sure he's looking out his window right now at the Sphinx, and we are not. Our guest tonight is Yousef, and I'll be right back. Stay right there.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio.
Hello, and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Sobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA digital broadcast station.
Angioprim can unclog blocked arteries and improve blood flow in all parts of your body. Angioprim is oral chelation. Easy, simple, liquid oral chelation. You take it with juice before breakfast and forget about it. Angioprim works fast, unlike old-fashioned chelation that takes hours. Just log on to angioprim.com. That's Angioprim, ANGIOPRIM, angioprim.com. Angioprim users say they have more energy, more strength, more endurance. Increased circulation and blood flow will make all your body parts work better. Log on to angioprim.com to get more information on how you can get started and start feeling better, having fun, and doing more again. Lots more. Talk to a trained Angioprim consultant. Call Angioprim toll-free at 877-882-7221. That's 877-882-7221. Or log on for complete information. Angioprim.com. That's Angioprim.com. Find out how Angioprim can work for you. Get the facts about Angioprim at Angioprim.com.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And this is Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
Yes.
We're of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And I'm Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
And you're listening to Jimmy Church.
The Revolution.
What's up, Fadernauts? Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and the F2B audience so much that they have put together the ultimate stereo Bluetooth system. They've done it just for you. Man, check this out. The Studio Dome SBB2 stereo system is here. It's featuring two Studio Boombox 2 SBB2 wireless Bluetooth speakers, packed in its own custom hardshell case. This Studio Dome system features the very latest in stereo Bluetooth technology. The two full-range boomboxes are in true wireless stereo. You've got to hear this. It's amazing. It's just $129 and use the promo code JCRTWS and you'll also get free shipping. It's simple. Just go to jimmychurchradio.com, click on the Studio Dome banner. Go Beckley Tepe.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
Welcome back to Fade to Black. Our guest tonight, Yousef Hakim Awyan, live from Cairo, Egypt. And Yousef, one of the things that I think it was you that said it in the video, but I've never forgotten this. You said that across the street now from the Sphinx is my house, and I can see a Starbucks and a Kentucky Fried Chicken. Is that true? Is there really?
This is true.
Oh, man.
This is true. Kentucky and Pizza Hut right in front of the Giza Plateau.
Oh, well, you got to keep the
We'll
tourism.
make you feel right at home when you visit here.
Yeah, right. And I can't wait. And I want to thank Patricia, too, for helping us put this together tonight. But when we do get over to Egypt next year, I cannot wait to hang out with you and Patricia and go take a walk and go see some things. We're really excited about that. Now, I wanted to say this. When we're talking about old technology, I was just at the Met in New York City a couple of months ago with my wife, Rita, and was going through the Egypt exhibit, which is beautiful. It's amazing. But they had one thing there that messed with me. They had a sarcophagus that was about 10 to 15 feet long, probably 6 feet tall, 6 feet wide, made out of black granite. And the lid was about 1.5 feet thick, right? 18 inches, maybe even 2 feet thick. And I went up and I slapped my hand on it, right? I just wanted to kind of feel what it felt like. And I don't know how many tons it was 4,000 years old, right? And I don't know how many tons it was, but I'm looking at it and I'm thinking there's no way somebody just pulled this across the desert. There's no way. How did they move this thing around? How did they do it? It blows. You don't understand until you stand next to this stuff about how big, how heavy, and this was the other thing. So I want you to answer that, how they moved it. But on the inside of the sarcophagus, the hieroglyphics that were carved on the inside, and and I'm thinking, this is not a chicken bone, right? This is some high technology.
This is not a copper chisel.
No, it's not. It's not. It's simply, it can't be. So how did they move it? How did, first things first, how did they move these 10-ton things?
10 ton is not the largest thing. You got here, for example, the Serapeum, which you have megalithic boxes.
Rows
the box
and
with
rows.
The lid can weigh 100 tons.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And they have how many are in there in that first row? There must be what, 20?
20 and more than 20, and that's not everything.
Right.
There's still, archaeologists know that there is still parts of the Serapeum hasn't been revealed yet, so we don't know how big it is. And some of them, the writings are very crude. Like only 3 of them has writings. The rest don't have writings, and that's why we want to get to this. The challenge, in, for example, in the Serapeum, that it's carved in the bedrock. And the tunnel is only a couple of feet wider than the width of the box.
Yes.
So there is not much space for the bulls or hundreds of men to drag it. Lots of huge stones can be moved with lots of work. It's not impossible. But let's put in mind, why would I choose this material? And why would I create it from a single solid piece? Why take this kind of a challenge if only what I want to achieve is a sarcophagus?
Right.
Because it can be done out of wood or from stone, but from many different pieces and then attach it together. Much more simple, more softer type of stone. And by the way, most of the people believe that granite, when you say granite, they immediately say Aswan. But lately, we've been touring with some of the greatest geologists, and I will mention the name Robert Chuck, of course, and Susan Moore, and myself and Stephen Miller. We start to look through the geological eye and realize that not all the granite came from Aswan. So there is a big possibility, I'm talking like 90% positive here, that lots of the cyanite or the granodiorite was developed or brought from the Eastern Desert. So if we talk about in the official story that they loaded the boats with stone, and they cannot load the boat when the boat is floating. So they do it when it's sitting on the ground, then they create a road to it, they load the stones, and then they wait for the flood to come, and then it will float, and then they will take it. This happened, but not how the pyramids were built, because if we talk about, for example, the amounts of stone in the pyramid, we talk about more than 2,600,000 pieces, or nearly 3 million blocks of stones. So we know that big part of it, the core of the walls and the pyramid, is from the mound itself, it's from the bedrock itself.
Right.
So the stone, the quarry was in the bedrock, so it's a local stone, and other types of stones were brought from different parts. We're talking quartzite, basalt stone, white calcite crystal, and the granite, and the diorite as well.
Right.
So at least 1 million blocks were brought from different destinations. And if you just do a very quick calculation for this, you will need at least 100 years. With, if you have, we exaggerated in how many boats they can, like if they have 500 boats, which is of course a very high number to anybody to have at that time.
That's right.
And how many boats can you float in the Nile? And how many tons these boats, if the boat can carry 20 pieces, for example, and we know that the pieces here between 2.5 tons and 70 tons for the block. In the Valley Temple, we have limestone blocks that goes above 130 tons for the block, single solid block. And the granite stone, we have over 60 and 70 tons block, one block. And that's not all the challenge. So when we talk about how the stone was developed, that's definitely a challenge, because anybody with primitive tools and primitive civilization would never even bother thinking about taking this kind of a challenge. So if you don't have the tool that's going to cut granite, what makes you think that to use it at all? So that's one of the things. Then we're going to come to the writings on it. The writings so far never seemed to reflect, and I'm talking my own opinion here, to reflect any tool, any power tool, like the lost technology. So writings can be added with the tools they had. And it's not copper chisels, but it's the closest thing to it is other stone tools, like gemstones that can be attached to a chisel, and then the way to lay the text was very accurate, and how beautiful we see it in some cases is not impossible. When you look at unfinished items, like there are some boxes in the Egyptian Museum with unfinished writings on it. The box itself is finished, can be much older than the writings that can be added to it in
1,000 years later. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the box has horizontal and vertical lines.
I've seen them.
And yes, and then to lay out, like to paint and to add the hieroglyphics to it, and then start to carve, and then sharpen the carving again by painting, and then carve it again until you reach the level of that.
Yeah, the artistry, the level of artistry of the final product.
the wonderful art that we thought impossible.
It is.
So it's not, it's not impossible to add this wonderful art to the pieces manually. So I am saying that the text and the scenes on the granite and limestone and the quartzite are dynastic, done in the dynastic times. I wanted to make this clear.
Right.
Because, but that's not everything. So what we are talking about here, that I can inherit something. And the best example, you can find in the Temple of Isis, and it's a Greco-Roman temple. The stone that's built, the temple is built out of it, is sandstone, which is not the most solid. This is something that became more popular in the dynastic time, which will make sense because they're going to choose the soft stone that any chisels can carve, and that's the sandstone. That's who anybody would do that. Nobody's going to go for granite if you have sandstone. So you find an altar in the temple in the Holy of Holies from granite stone. But one of these altars was reused in another section of the temple that was transformed to a church, a Coptic church inside the temple. And this is a very common thing to be happening. Inheritors reuse the site and benefit from it, or they can use the structure itself, or they can use it as a quarry. Anyway, the point is they added a carving of the Coptic cross on top of the granite altar.
Right,
so,
right.
If I look at the symbol of the Coptic cross on the granite altar, I cannot date and relate this altar according to the symbol that's carved on it.
Of course.
Because there is another one that's much older, is still in the Holy of Holies,
right,
with hieroglyphics on it, and it's exactly the same. So that's why in chematology we really look at this and believe that we cannot date and relate and identify objects and things like that with the writings on it. And I'm just bringing the Coptic cross because it's obvious and clear that it's something that was added later. So carving on hard stones like granite is not impossible.
What?
And we believe.
When we talk about the Giza Plateau, certainly let's just talk about all three pyramids and the Sphinx together, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that the later dynastic periods inherited the Giza Plateau, that it was built much, much earlier, maybe even before the first dynasty, Dynasty Zero? Do you think it's possible?
Yes, I think it's possible. Why? Because we've been following the recycling the stones throughout the ages, usurping older structures and older statues throughout the ages. And we like to label it as like the site transformation, how the site transformed throughout the ages. So if we look at that, we can find evidence from the Islamic era that they used materials like granite pillars, and from the Greco-Roman time, the Coptic time, of course, and the Greco-Roman time, late period, and New Kingdom, Middle Kingdom, and until the Middle Kingdom, it is documented in the official books that one of the biggest reusing stones from a site happened in the Middle Kingdom, 2100 BC, and they took it from the Giza Plateau. They took the stone from the Giza Plateau and built the pyramids of Lisht, Tawi, the central capital of the Middle Kingdom, which is a little bit after Memphis to the south.
Right.
So it is documented in the official books until the Middle Kingdom about how inheritors recycle the material. And as the chemistry school team explored, and of course I've been in the Giza Plateau all my life, so one day, it was me and my brother Stephen Miller, and we were around one of the tombs here in the Giza Plateau, near the middle pyramid, a little bit lower to the east. And this tomb is known for one of the priests. His name is Ra'wer, and he was in the end of the 4th dynasty. That's the 1st dynasty. This is supposed to be the timeline of the original builders themselves.
Right.
And we did found conclusive evidence about recycling stone there at his tomb when he used bases of pillars from a structure that was once made out of white calcite crystal, and he used the base of the pillars as an offering altars in his tomb. So this is not documented in books, but we have it, and it's clear and it's solid evidence. And that tomb was revealed in the 30s or late 20s or 30s by the Professor Selim Hassan. And so we did find evidence that the stone was being recycled in the Old Kingdom, in the 4th dynasty, and which can support the theory that the Old Kingdom time or the 4th dynasty time, which we think is the original builders' time, is nothing but another layer of inheritors who came and settled in the pyramid cities. And that's not very strange. For some people, they would think this is very strange. But if they just looked at us today, we inherited the site. We added structures to it, like walls, like rooms, like ticket place, like this, like that. We added officials, and we are benefiting from the site, using it as a tourist attraction. Some people used the site and benefit from it like that, and throughout the history, it was used as a quarry. And this is very clear. Even sometimes the government or the system was taking a fee for every load of stones that was taken out of the site. And one of the things that was documented in the end of the 18th century also, the pyramid of Abu Rawash. And Flinders Petrie mentions that between 100 and 300 loads of camels will be taken. They used to load the stones on camels back then. Will be taken from there daily. Plus, the fine type of limestone, the pure like calcium carbonate limestone, they used to crush it and they make it as like to use it to paint walls.
Right.
And the granite stone was being used also in other structures. And also lots of it was reused to manufacture millstones.
How big do you think Abu Awash was when it was finished? Do you think it was as huge. Big as the Great Pyramid? I know.
No, maybe smaller, little bit smaller.
Right. I mean,
it looks like it's around the size of the 3rd pyramid, maybe a little bit bigger.
Yeah, it looked big. It didn't look small. And now let me ask you this really quick. Everybody talks about the Great Pyramid, finished in polished, white limestone. What were the color of the other two pyramids? Do you have any idea?
Yes, of course. But I know that there is no function, or like there is no. It's not the color that really matters, but it's the material. The 3rd pyramid, for example, is cased at least 2/3 of it with granite stone, so that's going to make it rosy black. And the middle pyramid was limestone, but reddish little bit. And the base of it was granite.
I have somebody that's been having a dream, a reoccurring dream, that the 3 pyramids were white, black, and red.
This is close to the truth, yes.
Wow.
White and red and black.
Oh.
And these colors also are not far from the Egyptian history. And I'm not talking about the modern history because, the flag of Egypt is red, white, and black,
Yes, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, the oldest sign of the symbol Ion or Un, which is Heliopolis today, was also the sign itself, and you can still see artifacts or paintings on the walls, was also red, white, and black, like the three pyramids and like the Egyptian flag. So that's these colors are native Egyptian.
Now, when you walk around, let's talk about Luxor for a second. We're going to hit a break here in 5 minutes, so I'm going to get this question out really quick. When you walk around Luxor and you can see, this is true for other temple sites too, but you walk around Luxor and you can see the different eras of construction. It's obvious, right? You have very nice block work, then you have stuff that's not as good, then you have stuff that's even a little more rugged. The older, the better. How old do you think those periods were, like in Luxor? Are they 1,000 years apart in their construction?
You mean officially, or you mean...
No, I want Yousef. I want Yousef.
Okay. We believe that most of these ancient sites goes back to what we see as, or what we label as, the pre-cataclysm era. And that, I will take the data of Dr. Robert Chuck here, because it's good to depend in geology to find other timelines.
Right.
And we will say it cannot be less than 9,700 BC.
Fine.
At least.
Right.
It can be older than that. My father believed in 2 great years, so more than 50,000 years. That's my father believed in that. And I agree with him also. But if we want to get to the minimum, it cannot be less than 9,700 BC. And this number is from the studies of Dr. Robert Chuck, when he studied the Sphinx enclosure and found out about the water erosion of the era of after the bedrock was carved, and the water erosion from the rain that stopped. This rain stopped 9,700 BC. So it cannot be less than 9,700 BC.
Which goes right back to Göbekli Tepe. We can't mention, I think, Yousef, and this is me, but I think there is, eventually we're going to find a connection. And Göbekli Tepe is not that far away. And I think that there's a connection there.
The connection is all over the world.
Yes, thank you. Yes. Now, when
we've been to South America with Brian Forster.
Yes, and he's the best too.
He's the best.
When we come back after the break, this is what I want you to think about. When we come back after the break, the knowledge, as your father has said, and you have said, knowledge is taught. It comes from somewhere. Somebody older, somebody knows something, and it is handed down throughout millennia. The knowledge of the artistry and the megalithic structures that started in Egypt came from somewhere. When we come back after the break, I want to know where the knowledge came from. And I know you have an answer for us. Our guest tonight, Yousef Awyan, live from Cairo, Egypt. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black. What a great night this is. More with Yousef right after this short break. Stay with us, everybody.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo
Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Work with your doctor when taking medications. Make Protovite part of your healthy lifestyle.
HealthForLiberty.com is your source for Protovite, a powerful nutritional supplement that's a true breakthrough for your health. Poor digestion makes it nearly impossible to absorb the nutrition your body needs. Protovite is a liquid multi-nutrient formula with patent-pending absorption technology and the highest quality ingredients to nourish every cell in your body.
My name is Sandra White. 6 weeks ago, when I started taking Protovite, I was on 14 medications, from everything for blood pressure to fibromyalgia. In the first 10 days, my blood sugar dropped 50 points, and my fibromyalgia pain is gone. And so was 12 of the 14 medications that I was taking. I'm 66, living life and loving it.
Go to healthforliberty.com right now. That's healthforliberty.com.
Thank you, Protovite, for giving my life back.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. Our guest tonight, Yousef Hakim Awyan, live from Cairo, Egypt, kicking off one straight week on Amazing Egypt. And what a conversation this has been so far. And so, Yousef, who taught the Egyptians how to do what they were doing? Where did that knowledge come from?
Which era are we talking about?
The beginning.
Dynastic?
Yeah, no, the lost history.
The lost history.
Let's go 8,000 years ago. That knowledge is coming from somewhere. And
so,
and especially
the original builders, you mean?
Yes.
Yes. No matter which era or which timeline, I believe it's a development like what we have today. Who taught us what we have today? To have computers and aeroplanes and the most sophisticated technology, everything. Who taught us this? We developed. It's an evolution, which means that the other shift was like survived long enough to evolve to create these great structures, definitely to serve for something more than tombs. And I believe even if we have evidence that it was used as tombs, that doesn't mean it is the original purpose of it. It's the reuse of it. Same like the altar in Isis temple. It was used as a Coptic altar. That's an inheritor reusing it. And even the dynastic Egyptians' development, which is great, I believe also the structure can give them this. The activations, the water, and the inspiration of using stones from these ancient megalithic structures. So, for example, also, why do we have today knowledge called pyramid power? Would we ever be aware of it without the pyramids? We wouldn't.
Right.
Because we understood that the pyramid was the alignment was the true north and the angle which between 52 and 54. This will create an activation. We learned this from inheriting the pyramids. Without it, it wouldn't even cross our minds, I believe. So that's for the development of the dynastic Egyptians. And also it's thousands of years. But the original builders, if we separate them from each other, then the original builders will develop this same like we develop. I know many people believe in aliens, of course, but we have the wisdom. We have the capability to evolve and to develop very sophisticated things without being given to us or like passed down to us. And the talk of ancient advanced civilization is not just today or 100 years ago or 200 years ago. No, this goes back to the time of Solon and Plato when they heard about Atlantis.
The reason why I ask why Egyptologists will not consider other forms of history here, they just won't do it. When we look at like Abydos, and you think about when that was done, and we don't have an accurate timeline anyway, but if we're talking about Abydos, the rest of the world was Stone Age man. And here Abydos comes along and seriously, a beautiful, complex structure. And the thought of putting things under the ground and tombs and the structure and how many were done and the complexity of that, this wasn't from the mind of Stone Age man that is eating seeds out of the ground. This is complex architecture that is going on. And they don't want to consider any other narrative out there. Why do you think that is?
Well, not all. Here about Abydos especially, some people who are still only dating and relating according to the writings, and I'm talking about here the two structures. The first one was built from sandstone and limestone. And the second one is built from granite and quartzite. The second one, which is also known as the Osirian, is in a much lower level than the first one. And the way it's constructed is a perfect match for the pyramids structures. They say, no matter what the writings says at that place, writings of Seti first or Merim Pitah or Ramses II, we cannot date that site to them, but we must date it according to the style of structure which matches the pyramid structures. So it's clear there for some people that this matches the pyramid structure and not the dynastic structure in the New Kingdom. So most of the cases, it is the latest writings that you see in the place. And some people think it's the oldest. But there is, in these ancient megalithic sites, the succession of ages built up layers upon layers upon layers. So we can find evidence there from the Middle Kingdom, and definitely the Osirian is from the pyramid builders era. So that gives us also another thing, like why most of the people focus on looking and searching for the flower of life that's painted on the walls, and not to focus on that megalithic structure that blows our mind away. So
yeah, I know, but this is what it's called basic math here. When I look at Abydos, I see a structure that is just as complex as the Great Pyramid. I really do. And I look at Luxor and I see these other sites that would have taken thousands and thousands of people to build over a long period of time. And it just doesn't make sense to me that everybody wants to concentrate on the Great Pyramid and say, okay, it's 2.5 million stones. It would take 20 years or it would take 100 years. But they don't realize that next to the Great Pyramid is another pyramid with another 2 million stones, right? So that's a whole nother complex build, and it's a whole nother thing. and then there's another 75 pyramids, scattered around to the south. We're still talking about all those copper chisels. We're talking about all those quarries. We're talking about all of the stone that came from Aswan or other parts of Egypt. That's a lot of people and a lot of construction, and they want to ignore all of it.
All the structures here in the Giza Plateau, according to the official timelines, were built within 85 years.
It's impossible.
It's impossible, definitely. If we are talking about the way they think it was built, it's not supposed to be there even right now.
Right.
So, yeah. And the other thing that officials talk about, like that the farmers came to work during the time of the flood instead of being lazy or something like that, that's also not acceptable, because now you're saying that those who came and worked are not professional stone masons.
No.
They are farmers and they're just coming to work here in the flood time. That's also cannot be true. Plus the main subject, which is why do we ignore the fact of the existence of ancient advanced technology? This is one of the main. And then when we talk about the challenge of building a pyramid, we will go a little bit to the south, to the bent pyramid in Dahshur and the red pyramid, which many officials believe that it's a mistake because they were still practicing building the pyramids, and the angle came wrong, as if they didn't have a full plan for the structure. They were just like, oh, let's bring stones, put some here, put some there. Oh, the angle is wrong. And then the king didn't like it. And then he ordered to build the red pyramid. So 2 pyramids for Senefru there at Dahshur.
Right.
And anybody who thought that the bent pyramid is a mistake and he had a theory, he came to the pyramid of Dahshur and he realized that this is no mistake. There is no way that this pyramid was a mistake. This design is done on purpose to achieve, of course, as we believe in chematology, with every design, there is a different, with different designs, there is a different result of these devices, the pyramids. So like today, when we have many things running by electricity, but the water heater is different than the fridge, is different than the computer. Every design gives you a different result. So if now nobody, so they started to have another opinion, even officials, they start now to say it's a pedestal with a bin. And so they want to correct that information, that it's not a mistake. But then if you correct that and you say it's not a mistake, then why would Senefru build himself another pyramid? That's one question.
Right.
And if it was a mistake, as some people believe, and we talked a lot about this, me and my friend and the tour operator of the Kemet School, Muhammad Ibrahim, he's also...
he's great. Right.
Yes. And we were talking about how and why wouldn't they dismantle the stone and reuse it instead of going back to the quarries and cut and develop more stones to build a pyramid from scratch? If the king didn't like that pyramid, as the official story says, why they didn't dismantle it and reuse as much stones of it to build the other one that he was going to?
That's what I would do. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to go and quarry another 1.5 million blocks. Let's take this thing down and let's build it right. That's all you got to do. You bring up a really good point, and I don't know why this isn't discussed more. But, the red pyramid, you can see it from the bent pyramid. You can see it. It's right there. Why would you just go and start it over again? Can you imagine telling all of your workers, right, all the guys in the quarries, you know what, guys, this is close. This is the right idea, but we're just going to do another one back there. Let's try this again.
Yeah.
I've never bought into that. I never have.
Yeah. I will, if I was one of the workers.
Oh, somebody's.
I have to do this hard work. I will just run to the
somebody would get hurt. Is somebody would get hurt.
I will just escape the whole world and take my chances to live somewhere else.
Absolutely. No doubt. Now, there's one other thing that I wanted to run by you. When we look at, if we take, and this is how my mind works, Yousef, so just go with me for a little bit here. If we look at the Great Pyramid, let's just talk about that, 2.5 million stones. Okay, let's deal with that. Then what I see is 2.5 million meals. Somebody has to eat, right? Right? Okay, so
more.
Right. So somewhere on the Giza Plateau, there's got to be 2.5 million fish heads. Okay, there has to be 2.5 million copper chisels somewhere. If you used one copper chisel per rock and wore it down to a nub, there has to be evidence of 2.5 million of everything. Do you know? Do you understand what I'm saying? You have.
Yeah.
Where is all of that? Where is it? Where does it exist? And why can't we find that? Is it because it's much older and maybe it's further under the sand and we haven't had a chance to get to it yet? That'd be a good excuse for Zahi Hawass, I guess. But where is the evidence of all of this?
There is many things in that subject that can be mentioned. First, I want to say that inheritors also, they have a system and they need to have workers and they need to have officials and stonemasons, because inheriting the site also requires this kind of things. Every inheritor, either that they, as I said, quarry or rebuild in the site.
Right.
And most of the time they reuse the stones and build with it on the same location, not far away. Most of the times it's like that.
Sure.
So some priests like Hakim Awyan, the chief architecture of Cheops and things like that, which they believe that he was the one responsible about building the pyramid, doesn't convince me, because we know that, for example, in Saqqara, we have Hotib. He was a chief or the inspector of all the priesthood of the Pyramid of Titi. But that's in the Middle Kingdom, and the Pyramid of Titi is an old kingdom structure, according to the writings. And so we can see that inheritors also developed the same system after the first intermediate period in Saqqara. Another priesthood ruled and settled and ran the structures the way they do, like by initiations or creating burials or other things. And they had their chief, and they had their architecture, and they had all the titles that we can see. And we can see, for example, the name Imhotep being mentioned from the 3rd dynasty until the Greco-Roman time. It cannot be one person.
Right.
We can see the name Khufu from the 4th dynasty until the 300 BC. It cannot be one person.
Nope,
so
can't.
we have this kind of things. And the second thing, seemed like when we were looking for the scenes of manufacturing vessels and carving statues and building structures and stuff like that. There are scenes of building structures in the New Kingdom. And for example, one of the best examples is the tomb of the priest Rakhmira and the tombs of the nobles in the West Bank.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they developed the idea of the ram road from mud brick, because that's how they did it in building these temples from the sandstone. But what I disagree with, and there is a very important subject here, is when it comes to the challenge of the elders. And you were saying that the older, the finer, and that's a fact.
It's a fact.
And it's against logic.
Yes.
It's supposed to evolve, not the other way around.
Right.
So officially, they say that there was no stone hacked from the bedrock until the Middle Kingdom. So like the megalithic blocks that's quarried from the granite stone quarries only started in the Middle Kingdom. And officially also, they say that the first recycling of stone from older structures is in the Middle Kingdom. So how can we put these two together? Which one is the fact?
Right.
The fact, of course, is the one that is right there on the ground. The one that we see clearly, which is that the Middle Kingdom recycled stone from older structures, because this is found, documented, it's conclusive, there is no doubt about it. The other part has a doubt. And then we go to the Old Kingdom. So now you want to tell me that all the granite stone in the pyramid structure, which is the pyramid and the temple in front of it and the causeway and the temple in the valley, the open court in any of these temples have 16 pillars of single solid pieces of granite more than 5 meters high. All of them have the same shape from a single solid piece. Either it's a cubic, or it's the palm shape, or the papyrus shape, or the lotus.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
These are
right.
They are all perfectly the same from single solid pieces. So how come that the Old Kingdom or these pyramid builders didn't have the method to quarry stone from the bedrock itself? They say they found loose or falling pieces of granite and they used it. That doesn't convince me for a second, because try to create one today and you will know what I'm talking about.
No, it's impossible.
Try to make one pillar from a single solid piece.
It's impossible. Impossible.
All the Greeks and Romans.
5 pieces.
Yeah, the dynastic Egyptian, like in Karnak temple, for example, and Luxor temple, the huge pillars you see is built out of sections.
Yeah,
It's
sections,
built and
5
then carved.
sections. Sure. And,
But the ones in the pyramid structures that's supposed to be older and they didn't have the development of quarrying stone is made from a single solid piece. Why in any other era nobody could accomplish any structure like the pyramid structures?
And they actually, Yousef, they believe what they are saying when they say this. That's the crazy part. They've convinced themselves that this is the truth. And it blows my mind. And the one point that you have brought up that needs to be recognized here is the older, the better. The further we go back, the finer the art, the more intricate the stonework, the more complex of the structures with these monolithic blocks that are being fit together. When we get newer, it gets sloppy. It's not as cool. It's not as beautiful, too. They lost their artistic side.
Yes, and they choose softer stones.
The easy
like
road.
Sandstone.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. And I just don't get it. And they actually believe that. And then they want to say, well, you're not giving enough credit. What do you mean I'm not giving enough credit? We were supposed to get better. Shouldn't the better stuff be 2,000 years old? You know, but it's not. The better stuff is 5,000 years old. And that's just the way that it is.
You will be amazed about the amount of statues in the Egyptian museum that is in the New Kingdom and modern eras that is usurped from older eras. And some of them is recognized and labeled as a usurped statue, and the tens of them are not. They still relate many statues, for example, to Ramses II, and we know that most of them, if not all of them, are usurped from older eras. And you can recognize this again through the crude graffiti writings, like we call it hieroglyphic graffiti. The crude writings that's added to the statue later, but there is no other way to date and relate, except what we know as iconography. And
I have a couple of pieces here. Rita's down the hall in another studio. Rita, bring in the carvings that we have from Egypt, and bring in the blue stone too as well. I'm going to take some pictures of this because I know you can read hieroglyphics. I'm going to send you some stuff that I have here. I've always wondered what it says. I'm going to send it to you.
Okay.
Now
I want to complete the part of. When we were talking about Rakhmira, are we going out to a commercial or something?
Yeah, we're going to do a commercial in 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay. So the point I want to bring in fast then, that there are no scenes in the Old Kingdom of building a pyramid. There is scenes of everything that they did. Agriculture, woodwork, everything is documented in the walls of the Old Kingdom tombs, except the structures, especially pyramids. So some officials has opinion about this, and they say something that also doesn't convince me, that the ancient Egyptians were so used to working stones that they didn't bother document it, because they thought oh, it's easy. You don't know how to carve a granite and develop it, But on the other hand, you have scenes for milking a cow. So they think milking a cow was so sophisticated that they had to give us the teachings of how to milk a cow, and they missed how to cut and develop megalithic stones. So
they forgot to tell us how they forgot to tell us how they cut the tunnel in the Great Pyramid. Yeah, 300 feet perfectly straight. Yeah. We forgot that. How they made the gallery. No, don't worry about that. Milking a cow is what we want to show the future. Exactly. Let's take a break right here now. And when we come back, I want to talk about things under the ground, possibly under the Sphinx. I want to get to some of that, some of the tunnels that are reported to be underneath the Great Pyramid, and other things on the Giza Plateau. Our guest tonight, Yousef Awyan, live from Cairo. I'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal God, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
KGRA Radio. Intelligent talk.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on the smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store. So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on the smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
If your home has hard water, then it's likely that limescale is clogging your pipes, damaging your appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars each year. You can eliminate limescale in the entire house with HydroCare products available at Wave Home Solutions. Easy and efficient with no maintenance, no salts, no chemicals, and no coils. And you can buy with confidence from Wave Home Solutions. Performance guaranteed. Just go to bestwater411.com. That's bestwater411.com.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why Fade to Black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
All right, I'm back. I'm taking pictures of this stuff. I'm going to get this to Yousef, and maybe we can get this in real time. And so, Yousef, while I'm taking pictures of some of these things that we have here in the bunker, what do you think is going on underneath the Sphinx? Do you think there's the possibility of a library, information, tablets, things? Do you think that there is something there?
Well, if you're talking about what we've been hearing about for a long time, the Hall of Records is not going to contain text or scenes because of many things that we know that the same thing that makes the officials believe that dynastic Egyptians didn't quarry from the bedrock, because that era was studied very deeply, and they know their capabilities very good officially. Not all the way, but let's say 80%. And also when it comes to 80% and 20%, we know, and this is officially, that everything that's revealed in Egypt is not more than the 20%, and there's still more than 80% under the ground, not discovered yet. This is officially archaeologically known, so it's not a... But is there a possible structure under the Sphinx? Do I believe this? Yes, I believe this very much. And we've been looking, of course, because this is one of the exciting subjects that we like to look for.
Okay, I just sent you...
And also... Yes, it didn't show up yet, but...
okay, it's coming.
Also, I will return back to the work of Dr. Robert Chuck, because he had the opportunity to do GPR.
Ground-penetrating radar, right?
Yes, in the Sphinx enclosure. And they did found a possible tunnel running underneath the left paw of the Sphinx, plus the other opening and the other chamber in the back of the Sphinx. There is another. Is there an underground structure attached to the pyramid? Yes, of course there is. And it's known and labeled as we will take just a little part to know that it's there, which is what's known as the Osirian shaft. It's in the causeway of the middle pyramid, and it is part of the pyramid without a doubt. Officially, they label it as a symbolic tomb. I don't like that label at all. But far away from the label, it is a tunnel. It is 3 levels underground, reaches over 100 feet deep. And the levels has also chambers with granite boxes in them. And this just tells us that there is more to the pyramid than what we see on the surface of the mound, like the pyramid and the wall and the road and the 2 so-called funeral temples.
Have you been down into the Osiris temple?
And no, the Osirian shaft is, we are trying actually in the next tour, inshallah, to have official permission to enter it. I have seen pictures and drawings, but it's one of the things that really restricted to be seen.
And why would they restrict us? And if, going back when Zahi said that there was nothing left to be found in Giza, right? That there were no tunnels. There's nothing underneath the Sphinx. There's nothing. No. And then they find the Osiris temple, and it's 100 feet underground. It's 3 separate rooms. And there was something there in the bottom section there in the bottom room. Somebody was there. A sarcophagus was there, or that room was used for something.
Yes. If we label it a sarcophagus, then we think it's for a burial. And because they found it empty, then they said it's a symbolic...
Ceremonial, yes.
symbolic, like just made to look like a tomb, but it's not a tomb. So the challenge again, so it's not just enough to have the challenge of building the pyramid. I'm going to hack in the bedrock and go 100 feet deep, carrying down granite stone boxes that weighs tens of tons.
What was the purpose for the Great Pyramid?
We cannot fully still understand because lots of studies need to be done. And that it's definitely connected to magnetism, electromagnetic currents, alignment with the cardinal direction, the power of design, the power of the shape, the mound, the running water, sound resonance, cosmic radio, cosmic energy, lots and lots. We don't have a full understanding yet of the pyramid. We are still struggling knowing how it was built. So as long as we think that it's primitive civilization that created it, we will never reach the original use of it. But if we put in our mind that this was done by very powerful knowledge, alchemy, physics, geophysicists needed to know, for example, what's the achievement of all the different types of stones, the design, the pyramidian design, this shape, the alignment with the magnetic north, sound resonance, running water, and other things. Many different subjects it's like a fusion of many different types of knowledge, almost everything.
Have you spent the night in the king's chamber?
No, they don't allow this anymore.
Ah, but I know you and your dad did. It's okay. You can tell me the truth. What happens to you when you're in there alone? Tell me about that.
It's a very powerful experience. And you feel that you get a charge from the ancient site inside the pyramid, or even just by walking around it, or to the inner chambers that's carved in the bedrock sometimes. But which we know that it's still part of the pyramid structure. And you feel more sharp, and you feel more that you are really focused. And your body is much lighter. Like after a full day of hiking up and going down and walking, you still come home and you have this huge amount of energy that makes you talk with passion, and you find like information is like downloading into you. And one of the things that I believe recognized by the dynastic Egyptians as well. So you know the Great Pyramid is labeled as the Akhet, and that has many meanings. Akhet, the most popular meaning for it is the horizon. And some people say Akhet can mean a tomb. There is another meaning. There is another meaning to the word Akhet, which means spiritual power and intellectual ability. This is exactly how we feel when we visit the pyramid structure. A growth of spiritual power and intellect.
Let me ask, I want to, before we wind down here, there's one other thing that I know was discussed with you a lot, and that's Akhenaten. And his image, the way that he looks, we don't know where he is. Nefertiti, we don't know. Do you think, because he does look different, there's no doubt about it, his face, his eyes, his chin, his body, his hips, his legs, his chest, he wasn't depicted like other pharaohs were. Do you think that there is the possibility of something off planet? Do you think that he could have been E.T.? Do you think that there is the possibility of another strain of DNA being involved there because his philosophy with religion was different? He brought on a different culture. You know, he fired all the priests, right? he definitely started another era for Egypt, and was determined for that. Do you think there was the possibility of an alien influence?
If we're gonna, I don't believe that he was an alien, actually, and it's not a new religion. And this is also officially documented in some of the very authentic books here that we have in Egypt. The unification, like writings or psalms, are older than Akhenaten, and we know that his first name is Amenhotep. So he just disagreed with the priesthood of Ammon, which was the most manipulative priesthood.
Right.
And about the elongated skulls, we will return back now to the prehistory burials. And there is a difference in the skeletons. It's clear. There is a difference in the skeletons between those who were found in the burials in the pre-dynastic time, and they had the elongated heads, and the smaller body, like the skeleton, the bones of the body, and the others who ruled during the dynasty. And this is one of the mysteries also that's not solved until today. And the civilization of Marmada, that was also a pre-dynastic civilization here in Lower Egypt, it's known that it immigrated and across to the Mediterranean Sea. And we did find the same houses, the same style in Byblos, Lebanon.
Right.
So the Egyptians in Lebanon from the most ancient times, and even when we went there, the guide from Lebanon that she was with us, she was confused where the roots of the Lebanese people comes from, but I had no doubt that the oldest roots in Lebanon is Egyptian, from pre-dynastic time. And of course the megalithic structures there, the granite stone from Aswan, and the also other types of stones in the structures there, and regions from the Old Kingdom to the Middle Kingdom, we found stuff there from Egypt, but it was not stolen from Egypt and taken there. No, it was found in Lebanon for that matter. So the elongated head, the skulls are in Egypt from the prehistory time, from the pre-dynastic time. And Akhenaten, as I told you, the unification belief is not developed at his time, and we can see a comparison also and documentation of the older ones, and it's done also by Professor Salim Hassan, the one who discovered the pyramid of Khentekhaus here, and they did excavation work on the Sphinx in the 30s. So I believe it's just a conflict with the priest of Ammon, and I believe also that Akhenaten wanted to return to the wisdom, to the double wisdom from before the era of the hidden, which is Ammon, was like changed everything, or like try to rule by everything. Ammon can take the shape of any Neter, or so-called God.
Right.
And he wanted to have his own system, but that's also not very accurate, because there are most of the statues that we see in the museums of Akhenaten was not found in Amarna. It was found in Karnak temple, and foundations of pillars and many other things. So he was not just an Akhenaten not everything in Akhenaten. And also when we went to the palace in Akhenaten, the city also seemed to be much older. Perhaps he settled in a place that is much older, that he didn't do the whole, built the whole city from scratch. So,
yeah. Go ahead. Let me let you finish.
Yeah, so the idea of being pollinated or seeded is is an ancient Egyptian idea. I want to tell you that. The one who was seeded from the gods, the semi-god, and things like that. And I would only look at it as a way to manipulate the mass, the people.
To control?
Not to control, to convince them.
Sure.
And that's what happened also in the 5th dynasty. And in many other cases, like in Hatshepsut case. Like when there is a story about the Cheops and the oracle, and that he was told that his sons will rule until a certain time, but then another like pharaohs will come, or another kings will rule, and their mother is a priestess in the temple, and she will be seated by the gods, and all this is a kind of preparation. The stories given to the people to convince them that this new king has the right to rule because he is descending from the gods. But like everything that we see in him, that nothing is like super about these kings.
The king's list, right? That king's list that was recovered, that went back to Dynasty 1 and started with Mene. But that is where we get this 3000 BC number, right? Dynasty 1, and then now the possibility of there being a Dynasty 0 before that. But other than that king's list and the names of those kings and pharaohs that are there, we really don't know anything, do we? If it wasn't for that king's list, we wouldn't be able to establish anything. And that's where we get this 3000 BC number. Am I right?
Yes, you're right. And the king's list also, that is like in Abydos, for example, is missing many kings. And the other ones like Taurine and like Palermo stone.
Right.
They can have till certain times. Some people like they want to focus on a certain like bloodline, or certain like the ones that they honor the most. And we know that the Herodotus and Manetho, especially Manetho, he wrote about his own king's lists had much more names, hundreds of names. So, which will fit 30,000 years.
That's my point. Yes. Thank you, Yousef.
Yes, this is true.
It's the only thing that makes sense.
Yes, of course.
It's the only thing. If we need to fill in some blanks here. We need to fill in the blanks between, like I said, Göbekli Tepe and 3000 BC. We're talking about here 8,000 years, 7,000 years of downtime where supposedly nothing happened at all. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. Too much happened in the Middle East, from Turkey and ancient Armenia all the way down to the upper and lower Egypt. With the farther you go south, down the Nile, or up the Nile, as it should be, the farther you go down, the more magnificent it becomes. But it had to start from somewhere.
Like in Ethiopia.
Oh man. You know, and their work with gold and everything that was introduced to the north, but nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to connect the dots. It's very frustrating for me. And my audience is smart, right? And they know that these problems are here, but historians don't want to address it. They would rather ignore it because it complicates things.
Exactly. I believe it. In the end, it would lead to what we wanted to achieve, or like what my father wanted to achieve, is to be awakened and recognize many things, how we are capable of doing things and creating a healthier life and living in.
Yes, and
connecting with each other, the whole world. When we travel, for example, those who travel and they recognize that there is no difference between humans. We are more close than, we are more alike than different from each other.
I am so happy for you and Patricia to carry on your father's legacy and knowledge and to share it with the world and not to let it go. And I can't wait to get you back on the show, and we'll continue this conversation. But until then, and hopefully we'll see you and Patricia next year in Egypt. I cannot wait for that. But in the meantime, I want to thank you and Patricia for all that you do. Your father was the man, but you already knew that. All right? And thank you, Yousef, for everything.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be in this beautiful show.
And we'll do it again very, very soon. Okay, thank you so much. And I'll say hi to Stephen Mailer for you tomorrow night. He'll be on with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Yousef, and be safe out there. Oh, and when we come back, we'll talk. When you're back on the show, we'll talk about the tourism and what's going on out there too as well. We didn't get to any of that tonight. Thank you so much, Yousef Awyan, live from Cairo. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I'll be back right after this short break. Stay with us.
Listen to my boy, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
Does your basement or crawl space have a damp, musty smell? Well, watch out. That's a sign of too much moisture and not enough ventilation. And that can mean increased mold growth and the buildup of harmful toxins and gases. Don't bother with a dehumidifier. It just circulates the same unhealthy air. Now there's a better way to remove these dangers and odors. It's with the computerized Wave Moisture Control Unit that reduces moisture and expels pollutants.
We replaced our old dehumidifier with the Wave unit, and in only 3 weeks, our basement is dry and the musty smell is gone.
Wave units require no maintenance, no buckets of water or filters, and costs only pennies a day to run. Breathe better, live healthier with an affordable, no-maintenance Wave unit. Call 888-618-WAVE, 888-618-WAVE, or visit mydryhome.com. mydryhome.com.
Ride the wave. Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
What's up, Fadernauts? Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and the F2B audience so much that they have put together the ultimate stereo Bluetooth system. They've done it just for you. Man, check this out. The Studio Dome SBB2 stereo system is here. It's featuring 2 Studio Boombox 2 SBB2 wireless Bluetooth speakers, packed in its own custom hardshell case. This Studio Dome system features the very latest in stereo Bluetooth technology. The 2 full-range boomboxes are in true wireless stereo. You've got to hear this. It's amazing. It's just $129, and use the promo code JCRTWS, and you'll also get free shipping. It's simple. Just go to JimmyChurchRadio.com, click on the Studio Dome banner. Go Beckley Tepe.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were were born this way. KGRAradio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Oh, yeah. Fade to black. That was the best birthday present ever. Yousef Awyan, live from Cairo. Unbelievable. Thank you so much. And a couple of things. Look, everybody, we're talking about Cairo. We're talking about technology, trying to make that happen. And we pulled it off. But, yeah, it got sketchy there a little bit. But there was no way that Yousef was not going to ride this through. He had told me before the show, man, I don't care. I want to be on Fade to Black so bad. There's things. And I was like, man, you are so cool. So just thank you. And I realized that at times it was a struggle, but I was watching him reconnect and make things happen for all of you. So thank you so much. Best birthday present ever. I'm going to open up the phone lines, 323-825-5045. And yeah, let's continue this. We can talk a little Egypt. What did you learn tonight? The one thing that Yousef had said to me before the show, which we discussed a lot tonight, he said it's one thing to talk about the Middle Kingdom and the New Kingdom and what is there. That's one thing. He said, and we have a lot of hieroglyphics and we have a lot of papyrus. And we have things that talk about that. But that's not, that there's mystery there, but that's not the real mystery. The mystery is the Old Kingdom and pre-dynastic. That is the mystery, and that's what nobody knows about, and that's what we need to figure out, and that's where my heart lies. And he's absolutely right, because there is a gap there, my friends. There is such a gap. I talk about it so much because I want everybody to understand how heavy this is and how important it is. When the upper and lower kingdoms united, right, and things kicked off, at that point, at 3000 BC, 3100 BC, which is just a guesstimate because we don't know. We do not know. But when we go back, just go and Google the Stone Age, right? And look at the three periods of Stone Age that are there, and look at those dates. And when we roll back, it didn't end until 2000 BC, right? And when we go to 3100 BC, we are talking about the coolest, most artistic, gnarliest architecture, rock, megalithic stuff ever. And it, from that period forward, it degraded. So how is it possible that this civilization, this period of it just arose and appeared in the desert? How is it possible? It's not. Life doesn't work that way. There are tens of thousands of years of evolution missing in time to get to that point. It just doesn't happen overnight. And I don't care what historian or archaeologist is going to try to convince me that it just happened. It didn't. It quite frankly did not. So we have a big, huge chunk of history that is missing there. We will figure it out. I know Yousef said that it's possible that we will never know. You know, that we won't dig up the proof that we need, right? But it happened. And we're talking religion and agriculture and government and all the pieces that you need for a successful society. It's all missing. It's all missing. 323-825-5045. Man, that was the best birthday present ever. A couple of things that I've got to get out there. And one is this. It seems to me that E.T. is getting bolder. And as time goes by, with more and more sightings that we are having. But this time, an airline tracker in New Zealand spotted this object on radar traveling at over 150 times faster than standard passenger commercial aircraft. The object is known, and you can check this, you can go and Google it, ZEDKGDG. That's its ID number in Flight Tracker. And it doesn't exist anywhere on the FAA's records. This given ID does not belong to a plane, which means only one thing. It is an unknown. I have seen the Flight Tracker video. I have used Flight Tracker. You can go and do it now. You can go to flighttracker.com, check it out. You could download it onto your phone. Flight Tracker is cool. You've got somebody flying in from out of town. You pop in the flight number on Flight Tracker, and a map pops up. And you will see at that moment in real time, wherever you go, all of the flights that are in the air right now. And you can watch the little planes, their little yellow planes, fly around. You can zoom in to an airport like LAX or your local airport around you and see the traffic. You can see the line of planes that are coming in and landing. You can zoom in further than that, right? Well, over in New Zealand, and the video is crazy. I can't believe that this guy actually captured it. That you're looking at all of the flights going around between New Zealand and Australia. And suddenly, and you're looking at hundreds of planes, and suddenly this plane jets out and flies across whatever the ocean is there between New Zealand and Australia. And it is ripping. And you can go and click on this plane like you can with any other. And it pops up with this ID, which is ZEDKGDG. I don't know what it is, but it is not flying at 400 miles an hour like the other planes that are there. And they're guessing with the movement of everything else and the speed and altitude of the other planes, which you can see there, this was traveling between 120 and 150 times faster than all of the other air traffic. You do the math. It's incredible. Now, I'm going to also comment on this. What happens when a major drug maker, by the way, that does business with the government has been caught price gouging customers? Well, executives at Health and Human Services, they sift through their records to see if any Medicare or Medicaid were also targeted. And in the case of Mylan Pharmaceutical, maker of the EpiPen, everyone, it appears, was fair game. Just a few weeks after Mylan's CEO testified before Congress and understated the amount of money her company makes from a device that treats severe allergic reactions, the company is under fire once again. This time, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services has accused Mylan of misclassifying the drug in order to charge the government higher prices. Now, despite warnings from CMS, a letter from the acting director, Andrew M. Slavitt, accuses Mylan of continuing to list its EpiPen, an auto-injector that delivers a dose of ephedrine, as a generic drug, despite the fact that the company enjoys Food and Drug Administration mandated patent protection on the device. The incorrect classification appears to have cost the federal government more than $100 million in the last 5 years alone. Man, I just hate Big Pharma. Do you guys know who the Norwegian Prime Minister is? You guys know who she is? Let me help you out here. Her name, Erna Solberg. And Erna, and you can check this out on our Facebook page, has been caught on camera playing Pokemon Go on her phone during an actual debate in Parliament. Now, Solberg was seen playing the game during the opening debate at the sorting on Tuesday during an address to the House by the leader of the country's Liberal Party, Trine Skei Grande. The Prime Minister is an avid fan of the augmented reality smartphone game, and in August, she even took a break between official meetings during a trip to Slovakia in a quest to find animated monsters in their old town. At the time, she's 55 years old, by the way. The party leader told reporters she wanted to hatch eggs, enabling her to get her hands on some of the rarest Pokemon in the game. And, I know what you're thinking. Church, you're making this stuff up. No, go check out the pictures. There is evidence. Where are you guys getting these pictures from? I'll retweet that. That is me making kebab in our kitchen. I'll retweet that. If you want to see it, go to hashtag F2B. The Indian police have managed to uncover a huge tax scam. Now, we have videos of this actually taking place over on our Facebook page for Jimmy Church Radio. So get over there and watch that video of this. It appears that a large number of Americans were duped of millions of dollars by people posing as tax authorities and asking for the payment of unpaid taxes. I have listened over the last week or so here in Los Angeles to different talk radio programs, and one of them has been addressing this with people calling in, talking about how these phone calls have been coming in from India. 70 people have been arrested as of last Thursday, and hundreds more are being questioned and detained in relation to the fraud. The scam ran for the last year, and the fake call centers were used to voicemail messages in the U.S., telling them to call back regarding the back taxes allegedly that they were owed. When any of these people did call back, the scammers would manage to take out thousands of dollars from them to settle the tax cases. Now, it gets crazier. The elaborate scam brought in more than $150,000 a day, amounting to almost $55 million in 1 year that the scam ran. Now, we have a video of the scam taking place in real time. And what's interesting here is that the scammers would call up and freak you out. Okay, we're calling from the IRS and you owe money. And it would start from there. And numbers were just pulled out of the air. You owe $3,500. You owe $4,500. And a lot of people, believe it or not, didn't file taxes last year. Right? Or maybe the year before. And they know this. The scammer doesn't. The scammer doesn't know anything about you. But he's assuming that you've got something to hide. And so these numbers are pulled out of the air, $3,500. Now, this is where it gets nuts. They did this with Target gift cards. They would have the person on the phone go to Target and get 35 $100 gift cards and read the serial numbers for the gift cards over the phone. Now, before you think, nobody's that dumb, they made $55 million last year, over the last year, on Target gift cards. I'm not making this up. I was listening to a guy call into one of the talk shows a couple of days ago about this when the story broke, and he goes, dude,
They did. Yeah, they did it to me, and I didn't pay my taxes last year, and I was freaking out. So I did, man. I went to Target, and I got 45 $100 gift cards. And I'm thinking to myself, and the guy sounded smart. Didn't sound, like, somebody you could take advantage of. But it actually happened. Now, in the video that we have over on our Facebook page, it's pretty funny watching this guy deal with this scammer. But when it got out of control and when the scammer found out that he was being duped by this guy, then it all came out about the United States and how he was from Pakistan. That comes out in this video, too, even though this all took place in India. But this guy claimed he was from Pakistan. And you have to watch the video. The video is probably 25 minutes long. And somebody should go over to our Facebook page and post it up in Twitter, and I'll retweet it. It's an absolutely hilarious video. Now, what I want you to do when you go and check the video out is take some notes. All right? First off, the IRS don't call nobody. Ever. Never. Never, never, never. It's all done by mail. IRS doesn't make phone calls. So when if somebody's stupid enough to continue this, you get a phone call from the IRS, it's a scam. So you know what you do? You have some fun. Mess with them like this guy did in the video. You need to go over to our Facebook page, check it out, and take some notes. It is bleeping brilliant. Now, also, somebody sent me this video of a teenager in India that had a 7-inch tail removed. Yeah, you heard me right. A 7-inch tail off their backside. Now, I'm not going to give any more details than that. I can't do it. I'm only saying this now because I saw about 5 seconds of the video from the operation that was performed, and I'm still completely traumatized. If somebody sends you that video, do not watch it. But it really happened, and I am forever damaged for life. Seriously. All right. According to a recent report, a UFO has been spotted in China. This is another video that's going around. That was captured by a camera installed on a car's dashboard that pulled over to take stock of this thing that was happening in the sky off in the distance. Now, so you see the car pull up. You see people in front. There's like 50, 75 people. They're all jumping out of their cars. Looks like it's on a bridge. And there's a logjam of cars. Everybody's jumping out with their cell phones, and they're all taping. And that is real. I mean, it appears to me to be real, right? And the footage shows this driver. He pulls up, stops his car behind all of these, I don't know, man. It's got to be 20 cars that are like abandoned with their doors open because everybody's jumped out, clogged up this bridge. And they're all looking and videotaping something. But it's completely bogus. And it bums me out that this video has got the millions of views that it does. Everybody in this video is pointing their cell phones in the wrong direction. If it's the object in the distance that is supposed to be the UFO, which it's a disc and it's off into the distance and it's straight ahead, right? Everyone is looking to the left and pointing their cell phones off in the wrong direction instead of straight ahead. And you can see this black disc, going across the sky from left to right. But everybody is looking to the left in the opposite direction. Now, look. If you want to make a cool, I'm going to give a tip out there to all of those hoaxers out there. If you want to make a cool fake and hoaxed video, the first thing you have to do is cut and paste your saucer in the right spot in the sky. That's what you got to do. The video was shot in Guangzhou, China, from the car's dashboard camera back in April.
However, it's recently gone viral, and I'm not sure why. It's fun to watch, but it's seriously fake. And I don't get how people don't see that. You have 75 people standing on this bridge looking to the left, and the flying saucer is off on the right, and they're taping in the wrong direction. Yeah, if you're going to do a video like that, man, just shoot it in the right, please, for me. Climate change is moving spiders towards Northern Europe and into Denmark. More and more types of spiders are being found all over the country. And right now, spiders that are native to southern European countries have been making their way north to Denmark, prompted by the warming, I guess, climate change, and more hospitable climate that is now in Denmark. But don't trip if you live there. Of the 35,000 known spider species in the world, just a few have been found to be dangerous to humans or cause death. That's the first thing. Second, there are around 500 species of spiders in Denmark, and most of them don't have the ability to bite through human skin. But the stories and the pictures and the photographs are pretty gnarly. And it's going on right now in Denmark. I just watched some amazing video from Outdoor Hub's YouTube channel of an eagle cam. And we have this posted also over on our Facebook page. And in the background of this eagle cam, you can see something walking around. Is it Bigfoot? The footage itself is real, right? It's a real eagle's nest with a couple of baby eagles there, and they're chirping, and it's an eagle's nest with an eagle's cam. I get it. The question is, what is it? If you go right now to our Facebook page and check it out, I would like everybody's comments. It looks Bigfoot-ish. At the end of the little run, because he comes in and he's kind of poking around and stuff, but then he does this peculiar hop. He jumps up on a log and hops off of it. You have to see it to believe it. I don't know. And the way that the cam is set up, the Bigfoot, you remember, this is up in a tree. So the Bigfoot is off to the right, and it's like 1/8 inch tall, but they've zoomed in, and you can see it. It's Bigfoot running around. Go and check it out. I want everybody to comment. We got some really big news on BitTorrent, by the way. They fired co-CEOs Robert Delamar and Jeremy Johnson and laid off a large chunk of its staff. I'm talking about BitTorrent. BitTorrent at one point, and it still does, but BitTorrent at one point was responsible for like 10% of all web traffic. Okay? Well, they've laid off a chunk of its staff. Multiple sources are now confirming everything. BitTorrent CFO Deepak Joshi has stepped in as the interim CEO, and this is according to reports that are circulating around Los Angeles now. BitTorrent is also shutting down their Los Angeles-based production studio, and they have another facility called the BitTorrent Now video streaming service, which they had made agreements with different record companies and a couple of different movie studios, and this is how things were going to get released, and this was the future of everything, which was the company's way of trying to support independent artists. And it sounded like a good idea at the time. But now insiders say that the company spent millions of dollars on BitTorrent Now, and that spending was completely out of control. In an email to his staff earlier this week, BitTorrent founder, programmer, visionary, and all-around total badass, Bram Cohen, announced that the changes are taking place, but the layoffs started 2 weeks ago. And this is a big, big deal. And with that, on my little birthday show, I'm going to leave you with this. The late night drive-through poll is out. And who is the winner of the late night drive-through? White Castle stole the show as the top late night option with 21.5% of the haul.
Next up was Jack in the Box with 17%. Taco Bell came in third with 14.8%. And McDonald's at 11.1%. Wendy's was right behind McDonald's, by the way, at 10.5%. I don't know why anybody would go to McDonald's ever, especially if there's a Wendy's nearby. We don't have White Castle here in Los Angeles, and I miss them so much. But I've found out that their new late-night sensation is the X menu, which features mutant loaded fries, right? And wait for it, the apocalyptic waffle slider. It's an egg, chorizo sausage, and ghost pepper cheese sandwiched between two Belgian waffles. Dude, I think I miss White Castle just a little bit more right now. And this is Fade to Black. Thank you, Yousef. That was absolutely an amazing conversation tonight. Tomorrow night, Stephen Mailer, right here on Fade to Black, continuing our amazing Egypt week. Fade to Black's executive producer is Rita Kamarian. Shows produced by Hilton J. Paul, Mark D. Kovar, LJ3, Renee, Mark Dunbar, Jonas. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vito, and Mark D. Kovar. Faded by Dale. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy. SpaceboyMusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network. Syndication is KGRA, The Planet. This broadcast is owned and copyrighted 2016 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Till tomorrow night, everybody be safe. Go Beckley Teppy.